You know, in those days when you launched Black Rose, like the whole of Shaftesbury, all the record shops would be plastered with the image. And it was just, for a young kid like myself, it was like, wow. Black Rose, that turned into a kind of an epic because he got me involved at a very early stage. And by that point, Philip had decided that I was going to do all his album covers because I had gone off track with Polydor. I did a couple of album covers for them. And he wanted me to sort of monitor the stuff he was doing relating to Celtic mythology, Irish mythology, the story of Cuchulainn, all that kind of stuff. And he sent me a picture that they'd done for a single. He said, this is your only reference, of a rose they'd spray painted black for the cover. Was it Waiting for an Alibi? I'm terrible at stuff like that. You can check. But there's Philip in the band with this kind of very dead looking black yoke. It looks like a squash squirrel or something sitting in front of him. And I said, Philip, you're not serious about that. You know, I'll paint you a black rose. So that's how it started. So I painted this beautiful black rose and I used airbrush for the colours and all the background. I drew it in pencil first and then sprayed on top of it. But I still felt there was something lacking. And Black Rose was inspired by the poem by James Clarence Mangan called Dark Rosaleen, which was an allegory for the Spanish coming to invade Ireland on behalf of us, as opposed to the Brits who were ruling us at the time. And myself and Philip used to talk a lot, and in the middle of a conversation we got talking about 1916, and I remembered Joseph Mary Plunkett's line about, I see his blood upon the rose. Now that was a very Christian Rosicrucian kind of metaphor. But I thought, I kind of like that. And I was a friend of an artist, I don't think I've ever said this before, I was a friend of an artist at the time called Michael English, who was Irish, but English born but Irish, who was probably the premier psychedelic artist of these islands by a mile. He was extraordinary. And I've been talking to people like him. I was in touch with the West Coast artists, and his style of realistic rendering inspired me when I came up with the idea of adding the blood to the Black Rose. So there's a lot of different design elements involved there and different influences. It brings me back every time I see it to a certain period in time. And it's when Philip, I suppose, saw the artwork for the first time and rang me because it went over by post. And he was so excited about it. And I knew I'd hit the nail on the head because you have to remember there's a great deal of trust involved. All he saw before that was a sketch. But he has enough faith in me to know I'll do something extraordinary. You know what I mean? But no one else does. To look back in your own life and see that you've created a couple of really interesting, iconic images, I don't know what it is. It's fascinating, certainly, to be introspective about it.